Got me in this party all up in his zone.
The best version of you is on the other side of people's opinions. I've made a few different reels, actually, and just short form content lately. And really, I'm not gonna lie, I've been pushed to the end of myself. I've been in a place where I feel like my life has been giving me no choice but to become the best version of myself, and not even by choice. The pressure, the stress, everything I'm going through has created a scenario where it's a perfect cocktail for me to either sink or swim. And I've been trying to create more raw, more real, more authentic feeling YouTube videos, and I want to keep the cinematic stuff to not to a minimum, but more intentional. Just because Narrated by Jay is just really my thoughts, my view, my perspective on the world. And one thing that I'm realizing is that you either lean fully into who you actually are, or you allow the world to stifle who you actually are and look back and live in regret, because you'll seem like you're insane, you'll seem like the weirdo, you'll seem like the outcast for a little bit. But the thing about the outcast is this: you're the outcast for as long as you're the outcast for as long as you don't lean into who you actually are. But as soon as you do that, and as soon as you embrace that power, and I'm not saying that as somebody who's figured it out, I'm saying that as somebody who's figuring it out as I speak to you guys through this camera lens right now, because man, one of my biggest struggles is feeling very misunderstood and feeling like I don't know why God made me the way that he made me. A lot of times I question why he wired me the way he wired me. A lot of times I question why it is that I always feel like there's some sort of disconnect between me and other people. And that can be that those are not my people, yes, and sometimes maybe that is the case, but other times it just feels like there's something about me that repels certain people. And it's hard to question why you're wired the way you are, or question why you don't mesh with certain people, or question why in certain rooms you feel like you don't belong. But at the end of the day, the longer that you fight against your natural wiring, the longer and the more resistance you put up against yourself, the more you're gonna feel that dissonance between what's actually authentic to you. We live in a day and age where we're constantly looking for validation. We're constantly looking for other people to show up and give us permission to step into who we actually are, show up and give us permission to be who we actually wanna be, show up and give us permission to say, hey, you're perfect just the way you are. Like, we're all looking for that validation in some form. And you can lie to yourself and you can say that you're not, but man, with social media, with so many people putting up a facade nowadays, the truth is that many of us really are there. And it takes a lot more strength. It takes a lot more discipline. It takes a lot more authenticity and confidence in yourself to show up and allow people to look at you and judge you for who you are, especially as creatives, especially as people in this videography, filmmaking field, or just people who are just trying to actually bring out that vision on the inside of them and bring it to life in action, not just in blind hope, just in dreaming. I was there for a long time. I feel like I'm still there. I feel like I'm just now stepping out into this place where I realize that it's do or die. It's sink or swim. It's you actually walk out that vision, or you allow it to stay in your mind as a dream and let it die with you. Because we all know, I'm not saying anything crazy. I'm not saying anything that hasn't been said before, but the graveyard is the place with the most untapped potential. So many people, so many creatives, so many, entrepreneurs, so many inventors, philosophers, I don't know, all types of different people. I'm not trying to name off random stuff. All types of people who died with the vision, with the goal, with the dream. And most of the time, the reason why they didn't do it is because they were worried about what other people thought. I've been in that place for way too long, and I don't know what it is, but I'm just starting to refuse to allow myself to stay there. And, whether it be just through more authentic content like this, or just venting or just kind of going through the types of things that I'm going through. I just won't allow myself to sit here and give a damn about what somebody to the left or to the right of me has to think. I'd rather actually voice who I actually am. I'd rather actually just get out here and do whatever it is that I want to do. Because at the end of the day, they don't matter. At the end of the day, if you stifle yourself, if you, that fear that's on the inside of you, you know, whether that be in content creation, whether that be, you know, trying to step out there and do something different, break the chains, break the strongholds that are in your family, you know, do something that's never been done in your bloodline, in your family, or just that you haven't seen in your environment before. It's easy to follow the preconceived notions and the expectations of people who are around you who don't want what you want, and listen to them when they try and make you feel crazy or try and make you feel like you're weird for doing something different from the norm. But I'm truly starting to understand that the best version of you is the version of you that allows yourself to be uncomfortable. And bro, it's so easy to get out here and say that. I mean, everybody says that, right? Like, you need to be uncomfortable. But the truth is, it's only uncomfortable for a little bit. And if you're not in this moment becoming the version of you that you see in your head, if you're not in this moment taking at least one step forward towards the person, the character, the discipline, just the identity that you want to embody, you're never gonna get there. You're not gonna wake up and get there. But you do need to take that next step if you do wanna get there. And I thought for the longest time that success or change happened when you have this big burst of momentum. But really, it happens over a long period of time of you making a small choice time and time and time and time again. And then eventually you're gonna see you're a completely different person from who you were 6 months ago, 7 months ago, 1 year ago, 2 years ago. And the only way you get there is by choosing and showing up as the person that you said and that you knew you would be deep down inside every single time. And when you find that you're not being and acting in alignment with that person, then that's just kind of when you reevaluate and you check yourself. I'm not gonna lie, 2025 has been one of the hardest years of my life. Honestly, there's only 2 periods of my life that I felt like has been less stressful, less transformative, less of a seismic shift than this year. And that's when I lost my father, and that's when my health was declining when I was like 17. Those 2 shifts were like 6 months away from each other. And I feel like I've been in a period of my life where this year, 2025, has been one of those, it's been one of those chapters. And that's what's pushed me to get out of my comfort zone and just start really embodying who it is that I always knew I could be and who I know I should be. And I've realized, you know, I'm 25 now, and there's a lot of things I said I would be and said I would do by 25 that I realized that I haven't done. And I think that's been the biggest thing for me that's opened my eyes to the fact that if I'm not doing it now, I'm never gonna do it. Like, genuinely, I'm never gonna do it. There's nothing special about me or different within me from other people who said that they were gonna achieve their goals or they were gonna go for it. And a lot of the times we really lie to ourselves by thinking that we're the exception when we're not. Success isn't owed to you. Your dreams are not owed to you. If you're not actually going out there and chasing it, actually going out there and taking action, nothing is gonna change. If you're not disciplined enough to actually keep showing up and realize that it's not enough to show up one time, it's not enough to show up today, you have to show up tomorrow too. It might not be a huge action, but you have to do something. And it's those hard truths, it's those hard-hitting realizations that have grown me in some dark places, but in some real places too. Life is funny, man. Life is really funny. It's not what I thought it would be at this point. It's nothing even close to what I thought it would be at this point. I thought by this point I'd be a lot more fulfilled. I thought by this point I'd have a lot more joy personally. I thought by this point I'd feel a lot less alone. I feel like by this point I feel like I probably would have made a lot more money, or, you know, this video, this filmmaking, this storytelling thing would have taken off by now. But my camera died, but yeah, I mean, from what I heard myself say last, like I thought this filmmaking thing would have taken off by now, but I absolutely don't regret taking the leap of faith to make this thing happen. I absolutely don't regret betting on myself, because when it's all said and done, despite the hardships, despite the stress, despite, you know, everything that I wish had happened by now, I know I'm not gonna regret trying to do what it is that I said that I was gonna do when I was younger. Not even just younger, but just now, you know? I truly feel like God brings us through the becoming process on our way and on our journey to our destination, to the vision that he put on the inside of us. And I feel like that's what it is, the disillusionment, the disoriented feeling of realizing that the journey to getting to where it is that you thought you wanted to be, or where you thought that you're gonna be, is just so different from what it actually is. You know, I can't really say I didn't expect it to be hard, or I didn't expect there to be hardship, but it's definitely a lot more real than I ever thought it would be. Times like this, nights like this, seasons of my life like this, where I get into that creative flow where I allow myself to just get out there, to put myself in uncomfortable places, in new locations, new experiences. This is where my creativity comes back. This is where my love for filmmaking, my love for storytelling, my love for just communicating with a camera and just being myself, this is where it comes back. And it's funny, it takes being pushed to my edge, reaching the end of myself, and really having no other choice, that I realize that this is what fulfills me and this is what gives me joy. But it's not something that I like to fake. And one thing, I think that's what a lot of us are missing too, is just, we see the facade, we see the Instagram filtered life, we see, you know, the prettied up, curated feeds of everybody's lives, and we're tired of that. And I think we're starved of real. We're a generation starved of real, because we've grown up seeing people pretty up their lives long enough to realize it's complete BS. And what we want is to connect with people and just feel like we're not the only ones struggling. And not just struggling, I mean, plenty of people doing well, but we're not the only ones feeling like we're tired of what's curated and ready for what's real. So the best version of you is on the other side of what people are expecting of you. The best version of you is on the other side of what people's preconceived notions say that you are. Your creativity comes from your authentic self. The best version of you comes from you embracing your proclivities, embracing your differences. And I'm not saying this in a corny way, because like I said, I'm still trying to do that myself. But especially us as creatives, especially us as entrepreneurs, and people who think outside the box, or people just trying to grow and become the version of you that you know is on the inside of you, whether that be in confidence, whether that be in creativity, whether that be in entrepreneurship, or whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. Just take that first step, man. Just take that first step. And realize that when you take that first step, you got to take the next one. And realize that once you keep taking those steps, it becomes a lot easier. And you begin to trust yourself a hell of a lot more. And I guess that's all you can really ask from yourself. So I don't know where this is going to end up. I don't know when this will take off, but one thing I'm going to do is try and continue to become the man that I said that I would be. Move towards the identity and build up the identity by embodying daily, to the best of my ability, who I know and who I said I would be. And you only get there by taking it step by step, habit by habit, belief system by belief system, thought by thought, and really just putting your faith in God and the one who sustains you when you feel like you have nothing left. And it's easy to say that in the corniest way possible, but the truth is, I've been in the place where I've questioned my faith in God. I've questioned if God is even there. I've questioned if God is even with me, but it's during these moments where I get that creative flow back that I realize that he definitely is still moving through me.